Hey, Mike here, and today I'm giving you the performance review for the Jordan Fly Lockdown. So right off the bat, as always, traction. Traction, as you see here, it's a herringbone traction pattern. It kind of goes all over the place. It actually works pretty well outdoors. It actually works really well outdoors. I don't know what it is about it. Performs similar to this shoe right here, the Jordan Ultra Fly 2. It performs similar. In the beginning, it doesn't have that much of a bite, but eventually over time, especially in indoor courts, it will get better. Outdoor courts are totally fine, but indoor courts, it is going to require that breaking time, so you truly get some of that bite. On those dusty courts, you're going to be, okay, just wipe every like 20 minutes. You're going to be totally fine. And I think that's like to moderately to heavy dusty, slightly dusty. You're going to be fine. As you're seeing here, it doesn't really pick up dust, which is weird. But if you're outdoors, it does, but it doesn't really seem to affect it. I don't know what it is about it. So, this traction here, it's really reliable. It's not a traction pattern traction like the Kyrie line is. Or, I don't know if you guys played in the JC3 from Brand Black. It's not like stop on a dime. It is like every other traction, but it's reliable on those unwanted court conditions. Once you get to those heavily dusty courts, to maintain wipes. But other than that, outdoors you're good. Even when it's heavily dusty, if there's pebbles everywhere, you're gonna be fine. So there's not much to worry there. So yeah, traction, it's reliable, it's good. Not the best out there. But yeah, performs really similar to this outdoors. So if you want an outdoor shoe, you could totally go with this. As for its durability, I can't really tell because, again, I probably only played like 16 hours outdoors this time. But the rubber compound feels pretty similar to this. This one's probably just slightly softer, just slightly. So, no, I think you're going to be totally fine with this, in my opinion. Now, onto its upper. Its upper did eventually break in. It's a textile mesh, not mesh, it's just a textile upper. I think it's a synthetic textile upper. And, it does break in even more, and it does start to feel a lot more nicer as each wear goes. But it's never going to get that premium feel that you get in like the Jordan lines or like a Jacquard. But it does feel nice. It feels a lot better than what was found in the Jordan B Fly, even though that material was pretty nice. This one just feels a bit softer, and it just feels like it moves a lot better with your foot. Oh, so yeah, and it feels a lot better than what was found in the Fly Weave and the Mama Instinct or the Mama Rage. Even though that those are two completely different lines, I just want to throw that out there as a reference. So this one feels a lot softer. It doesn't give you that pinching feeling during the breaking process. So you're gonna be. It's like you're breaking it in while it still feels soft, and as you're breaking it in, it feels softer, and you're not gonna feel any negative effects with it. Probably the only one I can think of is that it gets pretty warm in here. It's not the best breathing shoe, but if you're used to that already, it's not like it's gonna be choking your foot inside, so you're gonna be totally fine. But as for the fuse, as you see here, just with the 25 hours I put, you're kind of seeing some chipping going along here. And what I did notice also right now is this mesh right here. It looks like it might begin to tear. So just be aware of that. So, its support, its lockdown, like the name suggests, is actually really good. I'm going to go to, the stability. I didn't notice that here. I thought it was just this portion right here. But once you get here, you can actually see there is a little outrigger right here. It does do its job. I only had like 3 occasions where I felt as if I was going to tip. And those were, I have a feeling it's just that I didn't maintain my wipe because I went like 45 minutes without wiping. maybe closer to an hour. So it could be that. I'm just putting that out there. But other than that, when you're cutting, you're stopping your dribble, playing defense, driving to the rim. I never felt like I was teetering, like if I was going to roll my ankle. So, it's reliable. Gets the job done. Lockdown is actually really good. Once you tie the shoe, you're stuck in the shoe. You can try your hardest to try to, take them off like I would do with all my other shoes by putting pressure here and then just trying to kick them off. It's going to be pretty painful. But just know if you're narrow-footed, this is going to kind of go with the fit. Lengthwise, it's fine, but widthwise, eventually as you're breaking it in, it kind of loses some of that snug feel, so you are going to have to start cranking the laces, and I think that might be why this is like this, because I did have to crank it. But if you do it too tight, if you're narrow-footed, it is going to feel like it's cutting off circulation. So, it's not that bad, but just know it's not going to be like all the other Jordans where it's kind of like made for you because you still get that snug feel. You are going to have to start kind of cranking the laces. And I think this is going to be a lot better suited for normal footed people, I guess, for lack of a better word. Because it might be really snug for you, but eventually, all you can do is just pull these laces like this, and the materials will start, eventually when the materials start breaking in even more, I think it's going to form pretty well with your foot. As for wide footers, I think it's still going to be a bit way too snug for you, especially in the beginning, and even if you do break it down, I think it is going to be a bit too snug, not just because of the materials, but I think because of this portion right here. So you might want to go up half a size or maybe a full size. Always try it on in stores, because I had my brother try to put his foot in here. He's a wide footer, and he said it felt pretty tight, and this is pretty broken in. So I think if he went half a size up, he would be fine. But again, just try them on in stores. I'm still on, the support and everything. I think another thing that to stay in the footbed are these portions right here. At first I thought it was just to make the shoe look cool, but I began to notice that I would never get farther than here. And especially here, this would catch me, kind of similar to what the Mamba Rage did. So, it does a really good job of keeping your foot in the footbed. So yeah. And there is an internal heel counter here that does do a really good job of cupping your heel, keeping it from slipping out. So you don't really have to worry about that. So now, onto its cushion. I'm gonna be honest, zooming it feels really nice. That's all I can say on that. With the more wears, the more time I put in to break it in, it felt even nicer. I never got to the point where it felt like a Jordan 29, even the Jordan 30, I think. But for sure, it felt a lot more abundant and nicer than the Ultraflight 2, even though that one was pretty nice and you could feel it had a good bounce back. But that one was more low profile. And this one, it sits a bit higher, it's a bit thicker. Once you break down the ortholite, I don't know if anybody has ever tried the PG1 who's watching this or experienced this, but once you beat the ortholite in this, it's basically just you landing on the phylon here, because you can't really feel that. And the thing is, the phylon wasn't that forgiving in this shoe, but luckily with this, the phylon here is pretty forgiving and compresses quite a bit. So, it's more like a kind of a mushy feel. So you don't really have to worry too much about that. But the one issue is if you are a heel striker, I think eventually it might tire you out, because even though it is pretty forgiving, it's not going to be like Bounce or anything like that from Adidas. So it's still Phylon. So just be aware of that when you get these. But just know, forefoot cushion feels really nice. This setup is actually pretty good. And I think if you're going to be using these outdoors, you're going to be totally fine. Like, it's got the cushion for you, and the Phylon's pretty forgiving. So, you're going to be totally okay with it. So, overall, I think this is, like I've been saying, a reliable shoe. It will have you covered. It does everything good. It doesn't do everything, it doesn't do anything above and beyond. It does everything good. It is reliable. It does everything good. You don't have to really worry about it. Like I keep saying, it's gonna be reliable. It doesn't do anything extremely, groundbreaking. It never gets to that point, but like it just does it well. It doesn't take any risk. It just does it well. Like the cushion is nice, traction is nice, the upper is nice. The lock, actually, you know what? The lockdown is actually pretty great. So, like the name suggests, lockdown, great. Stability, it's good. You don't have to worry too much about it. Yeah. So if you want to get these as an outdoor option, I think you totally can. I think the rubber compound is just strong enough to be able to last you. If you play on a smooth concrete floor, I think you'll be totally fine in that with this. Now, if you're playing like on a blacktop sort of court where you see the pebbles and there's cracks on the floor and everything, and like if you were to land on the floor, you would just cut yourself up pretty bad. I think this has the toughness to last it for you for like quite a while. It's going for $110 at that price point. With the zoom, I think. If you think it's worth it, I would just wait for it to go on for them to go on sale. Apply discount codes, and because the thing is, I'm gonna be honest, these models right here you don't usually get that much like exposure or love from, I guess, like the mass audience. So they usually tend to go on sale. And if they do, just know you're getting a steal because these perform actually pretty well. Like I was saying before, it's reliable. And, if you want to use it for outdoors, I think you're going to be really happy with this. I think this might be like the best, or it's going to be one of the best outdoor options from 2018. So yeah, see you guys next time.